Good morning, everybody, and thanks for attending. It's great to see so many familiar names on the attendees list and for so many of you to taken some time out of your busy schedules to listen to our webinar. So welcome to the Easypromo3d UK launch. As a little thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to watch this presentation, everybody that's attending today, and obviously I've got the attendees list online, we will give you a free 3D model. So if you can send us 6 photos of one of your products, we'll actually create a model for you for nothing and put it online. So hopefully that makes it a little bit more worth attending and you might be excited by what else you see. At the end of the webinar, I can take some questions, and you can see on your screens you've got an option to type in questions. More than happy if you want to email me after the webinar finishes with any questions. If you email to andrew@easypromo3d.co.uk, .com will also get through to me. So it's quite exciting times for us. We launched this product in America in January, and we're getting some fantastic feedback over there. I guess when I first saw the product, I thought it was a bit of a gimmick. The fact that you can, take a mug like I am on the screen at the moment and spin it round in all directions. But I guess what I'm hoping to show you over the next sort of 15-20 minutes is what a great business tool Easypromo3d has become. So starting point really is to set up a product like the mug you see on the screen in front of you. All we need is 6 photographs. That's one of the revolutionary things that we've got. And because of that, it means obviously we can very affordably set up a product. Some of the competitors are charging $200 or $300 to do this sort of thing. We're charging £9.99 to set up a product. And we can do it from photos without having the full product. Now, so far we've modelled all sorts of different things. If I drop down my list on the left-hand side, you'll see badges and lanyards, calendars, clocks, coasters, footwear, glasses and drinkware, snow globes, headwear, key rings, mugs and ceramics, pens and writing, and some really complex umbrellas. We've just got a large customer in the States as well putting on a series of crystal and award products. So they'll be on within the next few days as well. And we've got new categories basically going on every day at the moment. We've got the capacity to put about 500 products per day onto the system. So you can see we've thought about this, and we think it's not a gimmick, and I'm going to show you the serious business benefits of it. So I guess the first thing to mention is Easypromo3d is real 3D. As you can see with this mug there now, I'm using my mouse, and I can literally, most of the 3D you've seen so far is sort of like this, and I'm going to use the rotate tool down here in the left-hand corner, and it rotates. And that's fairly commonplace. You see that on quite a few sites now. You see on here we've got a nice reflection model, but the beauty of this is I can completely turn it and explore. So the idea really is people feel more comfortable with your product. They can look at all parts of it. And unlike other 3D as well, we've got the zoom function. So you can actually zoom in and look at areas in more detail. So as long as the photographs are good enough, people can really use it to explore the detail of the product. And then sometimes, if you want to, you've got default. So I click here and it takes me back to the default presentation. Front, back, right. So I've got all navigation tools down there as well as my zooming tools. So you've got really good navigation. The other thing is if you've got a white product, you can change the color of the background, or a clear product, so it can be better viewed online. So you've got a slider there and the user can change that to see what they want. You can always take a screenshot on this camera up here at any time, where that will save that product as just like a 2D image, a normal product image. So I think that shows the power of a 3D product. Let's now just go and use the tools a little bit. At the moment, this product selected color area, so I can have multiple color areas within a product or no color areas. So in this case, I could go down here and I could change the color of the product as such. And then in this case, if I had the ability on the inside, so let's go to the inside and change the color on the inside. if you want, you can allow the product to people to type in. So if you do colour matching, they could type in any colour they want. So let's do that. So now I've changed the inside colour on the mug to grey and the outside colour to blue. I'll put that back on there now. Now we can selected area. So in here we've just got front and back. We could have full wrap, handle, inside rim, etc. So we'll go back to looking at a few other products in a minute. So that's our products. We've also got a search for products. And this tool can be either embedded into your own website or used by your own staff, or you can embed the individual samples. So let's now look at some images. So basically each user can have different libraries of images. So these are my recently uploaded images. So I've just been uploading there some brands, some common brands. Or I've also got the ability, if we look on there, to choose different folders. So I've got my football badges or something there. If I want to upload an image from my computer, it's pretty simple. I just hit the browse button and it then lets me choose a series of images from my computer and upload them. So let's now just say, and apologies for those of you, I'm certainly not a Chelsea fan, I'm a Leeds fan, but I just happen to have a Chelsea badge on there, which looks good. And you saw how easy it was. If I wanted to change that to an Arsenal badge or a Liverpool badge or a Manchester United badge, it clicks very easily. I guess the blue one tends to go quite well with that mug. And then what I've got down here is a series of tools for manipulating that. So I've got a move position. You can see that moving across the mug now. It's not the mug that's moving, it's the actual logo. Now, what that will do, unlike other products out on the market, you can set a defined print area. And ultimately that means that people are not able to brand the product outside of that print area. So they can only create products in general that can be made. So I've got the ability to manipulate that logo on there. I have got the ability to change the size of that logo. So again, can you see it's obviously not expanding any more than the print area. Actually makes quite a natty design, doesn't it, when you do that? You don't have to see the Chelsea badge. Right, so let's move that back down like that. So we'll have about that size, I think. And then you've also got the ability, if you wish, to rotate the image as such. So it gives you a lot of flexibility and easy to use tools for image manipulation. Now, if we were to turn that mug round now, yeah, we will see on the back, I've still got the keyring logo. So what we've provided down here is a copy to back tool, copy, and that will take the image from the front and apply it to the back. So you see there how easy it is now to brand that image using the tools available. Now, on a mug normally, you've only got the 4 colour printing processes, but what we have got is the ability here to have different print effects. Now, let's just have a look for a bit of fun. Etching on glass, so that gives an etch effect as if it was on glass. And we'll go and look at some other products in a minute and see how they turn up. But you can see how easy it is to change the print effects on the particular product. And really there's not much limit in terms of what products we can't put into the software. I think the only things that are very difficult would be things with like a furry or a material's fine, but like a teddy bear or something would be harder to get in pure 3D. So the other tool we've got there, if I wanted to, is the remove white tool. So if I click that, and if I wanted to remove, I mean obviously it won't look very good on here, but if I wanted to remove the white within the middle of the logo, only remove selected area, I can do that, hit OK, and obviously that will remove, in this case, the middle part of the logo, because that was white on the background, so I won't actually want to do that. So the tool works away, if you like, and removes the white from there, which obviously doesn't look particularly good. I did have an example here where we're just going to remove the white Well, we don't want to remove it from there anymore, and we'll just reset that. Okay. So we'll put that back as it was. So the remove white tool is pretty useful. What we've also done is we got like a little artwork editor. So if someone hasn't got, we've got a very simple artwork editor. So if you click the little button over here on your visualizer, which I'll do now, it loads up our own artwork editor. Now it's a little bit slow because we're doing it on the GoToMeeting, but there we are. I've got a fully functioning artwork program there where I can open a new image, and I've got all the normal tools that I've got in something like PaintShop or PaintShop Pro, so I can crop things. So it's just a useful little extra that we can give, and there's no cost to that. So we've obviously only got a limited amount of time on this webinar, and I would obviously be delighted to go through things in more detail with you at another stage. So let's just take a quick look at some of the other products we've modelled so far. We've kind of looked at mug, badges, quite interesting. It's a good example here of changing the background colour. And can you see it's kept that Chelsea logo, and every product we go into now, that will actually be on here. So it keeps the last logo you use. It's obviously very easy to change that logo. In terms of that, let's just go and change that to maybe a Liverpool logo, and we say in that circumstance that's a little bit too small, so let's just make that smaller. There we go. A little bit too big rather. There we go. In terms of that, so a lanyard's quite an interesting one. You wouldn't have thought it worked as a 3D product, but it actually works quite nicely as a 3D product. And one of the things we have got on here, which I think is quite unique, obviously on a lanyard you're likely to want to zoom in on it, so look at different detail, but we've got multiple print areas, same as an umbrella, so we've got 10 print areas on a lanyard. So again, it's something that our competitors' products can't particularly do. A calendar, an interesting one. That's kind of like a 3D Perspex desk calendar. So we've got the two logos on there in terms of that. It's very easy to remove a logo from something as well. So in this case, let's go to the bottom and go onto our images and select Remove Image. And what this does, it just gives you like a blank box where you can click it like so, and it removes the image off there. So you can obviously brand anything on that. Let's back to our products. I guess some of the more exciting ones that have been modelled so far, an umbrella. Technically this was quite a difficult one to do because you can imagine an umbrella is quite complex. So there we are, there's our umbrella, and you can see on the umbrella we've actually got the spoke details underneath now, so we can turn around and look at those. Use the default tool, bend that there, and you can see the different print areas, so it's quite easy. Panel 1, we've got a full colour range on here, so we go into there, you can see you can get lots of colours. So panel 1, change the colour. Panel 3, saying we'll go for alternate white. We'll change that to green there. So you can see how easy that then is to brand that product and build that up. One we just put in this morning actually, so double checking that, we've put in a nice cap in terms of headwear, and it looks like my internet connection is running a little bit slow at the moment, so apologies for that. Hopefully it's not spoiling your experience. So there we are, we have a cap online which we can move, turn, shape, etc. I always use a default button to get me back to the main position. What else have we got that might be interesting for you? Glasses and drinkware. This is quite an interesting one, the water bottle, because obviously this product is transparent. So as you turn it round, well, I've only got one logo in one place, so let's copy that to the back, put it back to the default position, and you can see now that the logo is appearing on the back in terms of that. So I've created my Liverpool drinks bottle. And if you like, we could go on and on with the different products, but there virtually isn't anything that we can't model. I'm just going to have a look at my list, see if there's anything else that's quite exciting. Pens are quite an interesting one. Obviously, there's a lot of pens sold in the promotional products industry. What I quite like about the pen selection, if we like, so let's just go and choose a pen from our list. Maybe we'll go and choose that one while it's loading up. So a pen, actually works quite nicely, because most of the 3D you've seen on pens so far is it just turning round and round and round, sort of on the barrel, etc. Whilst this example, you've actually got full 3D on your pens. So just waiting for that one to load up. Let's just click on another one there now. So probably the next thing that I'm going to show you, as long as my internet connection hasn't ground to a halt here now, is the sample manager. Now the sample manager is a series of products that we've previously modeled. So we get a selection, and hopefully your screens are catching up now. So the beauty of this is everybody can store the samples that they've created here. So you create your own folders and you can save things anywhere you want. And then you have a series of settings for your samples. So the idea behind this is you can decide whether they've got the navigation controls. So you can decide, whether they can zoom in, move around, etc. You can decide whether it's a proof. So we have a proof approval system. Whether you're allowed them to change a logo on it, or if you don't want them to, neither. You can say whether you allow them to do a screenshot, whether you want it to auto-rotate when they first get it, and whether you want to add social sharing tools, so Facebook or Twitter, etc. So we'll do OK on that, and it says there you must reinsert. And then what you can do, you can either email straight from the system. So if I wanted to email this pen that I'd done earlier, I just go pen Andrew at easypromo3d.co.uk. It's got a link there, and literally all I do is go send. And it has now sent me an email with that virtual sample on. You can then get it as a link. So let's take that one. So you could embed it into your own website or your own email or whatever you want to do. So if we just click on there now and paste that link into a browser, you can see straight away that the Easy Promo window comes up and it brings in the pen image. You'll agree that's quite a striking 3D presentation of the pen, and it turns up, obviously already turning. And people have the tools, then as soon as you do that, you can start to zoom in to a particular area and examine that pen in more detail. So I think that gives you an idea of how things are presented to the customer. Equally, if you wanted to embed that within a page on your website, if you click here and then you click on the pen, it gives you the code to put it straight on your website. So it can actually turn up on your website already turning in 3D instead of a static image. So we give you 3 options there, and we've got a 4th option now, which is coming out soon, where you can personalize the product for e-commerce. So I think that gives you a flavor of how you can do the samples and the different uses. Now, I could, if we just go on back onto our sample manager, which we're here now, and we look at some of the samples we've created before. So just to give you an idea, let's look at an e-commerce example that I've done earlier. We clicked on this boot and said, well, actually on this boot, we don't want you to be able to design swap. We want it auto-rotating with social links. We hit OK, and we then click on the boot. It then gives us some code if we wanted to embed it, but for now I'm just going to use it as a link. So I take my link code as such, and then again just paste it straight into a browser or an email, and you can see there that that's quite a nice representation of that boot. In fact, obviously this isn't personalized at this stage, but people can turn it, look at the inside, look at the sole, and people are quite excited about this because at the moment all that's available on this sort of thing is kind of that turning. I'll give you a couple of other examples. I think there's some nice looking umbrellas. Let's go and grab the Virgin umbrella. Actually, let's take this as an example. If I go back into my settings and I say approve, disapprove, just to give you an example. It says you can't do social links with approve, so OK, OK, click on that. Now, this means you could then, so let's just click on a new window there like that, put that in, and what this does with the sample, and you can see how it builds the sample, applies the logo. So there's the Virgin umbrella, which somebody can explore and say, yeah, have a look at that, turn it around there. And if we click approve, disapprove, you can actually have a proof form. So for those of you that the idea of giving people 3D proofs, we've tested it on a few customers now, is obviously quite exciting. Saves time, and you electronically know when people have signed things off, and they get a better representation. And a little bit of work we're doing at the moment is a flat form as well, which displays the artwork in flat form, so they'll get 3D and proof. Quick look that I didn't show you earlier, and we're getting there. If I wanted to change the logo there, I can literally hit design swap, browse my computer, and immediately I could change the logo on that pen. I'm conscious we're getting towards the end of our presentation now, and I don't want to go on any longer than promised. Obviously, I'm quite enthusiastic about this new product. So I think, in summary, if we go back to our sample manager, you can see how easy that is to use. Hopefully, if you saw the visualizer tool in the early part of the presentation, you can see how easy the visualizer is to use. So, in summary, the uses for the business are, if you use this to produce proofs instead of creating real proofs, obviously it won't happen in every case, but in a lot of cases, it will certainly reduce your proofing costs. If you use this as a tool to send to people, it certainly is proving in the States to improve conversion costs, so conversion rates, as in people are saying, wow, that's good, and you can get a 3D sample in minutes to people. You can also use less skilled people to create samples, and the tool's quite good as in having the set print areas and multiple print areas, so you can't really create stuff that can't be made. You can use it to use the online proofing. It's very effective on websites. A future webinar will actually show you it embedded on websites, so people could create their own proofs on websites if you want. And obviously it can be used by a tool for you, or if you go for the Max version, it can actually be used by your customers on your website. So your trade distributors could use the tool to create their own proofs as well. So that would be obviously even less work for you guys and people creating quality samples. Some other examples, we're just building a flyer builder where you'll be able to send out flyers and people will be able to look at a 3D example of a new product and do some proofs and mock-ups themselves. So I think the technology is improving all the time. It's getting exciting. If you go onto the website, and if you go to the top of the visualizer and go onto the website, actually this takes you to the American site. We've got the American site, which is .com, and the UK site, which is .co.uk. So you'll notice we tend to have different samples on them. So that's an example of the American mug. And if you scroll down the page and go to sign up now, you can have a free trial. So you can actually have a play with the software yourselves. If anybody has signed up for it in the last day, I did find a technical problem, so I may not have received your request. So if you could resubmit it, that problem is resolved now. So thanks for taking the time to listen to today's webinar. If anybody's got any questions, please type them into your system now, or as I say, quite often on these things people don't like to put the question in now. So, you know, I'm more than happy to receive that questions afterwards. Okay. Okay, somebody said they've been having problems with the sound. Any other questions? Just have a look on there. Okay, if there is problems with the audio, I don't know whether it's my end or your end, I have recorded this webinar and I'm happy to run it again. So please email me on that basis. Okay, I've got no sort of set questions now, but obviously looking at the webinar, it's nice to see so many of you here, and I'd be more than happy to take questions afterwards. So enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing about Easypromo3d.